The classes that these guys chose, went Druid, Hunter, and Rogue, and LetMeFarM did Rogue, Warlock, and Warrior. So interesting that Unid didn't choose to bring Warlock, and LetMeFarM didn't choose to bring Hunter.
LetMeFarM is another Greece player here.
Yeah, and Unid
oh,
is,
you're right.
Yeah, and
Unid's been showing up.
And Unid, I think it's French. I'm not really sure, but
yeah.
like
Unid is French.
Yeah, he's a huge French player. Like he's one of their heroes to always do well. You know, you look at guys like Strifecrow, Calento, Life Coach as like the big titans of the West. And in the French community, they are part of the West, but they also have their own isolated community. Unid, Mormont, Maverick, but he's Belgian. Those guys are the ones they always look to do really well.
Yeah, like Unid is like a really big internet hero. He always plays those qualifiers. He always does really well in them. So really known player to play Inner Circle.
I think his best accomplishment that people were paying attention to, at least for events on Twitch, was the Millennium House Cup. That's where he's able to get his top 3 there. And he chose to bring Rogue. Now, I'm really fascinated by people who choose to bring Rogue in a format like this because I always feel like Rogue's never in a truly comfortable enough state to play, but a lot of people always tend to disagree and bring it anyways. How do you evaluate the state of Rogue right now in the tournament?
I share your thoughts here. Like, for me, it's kind of a deck that can work out really great or just backfire so hard. It's like it's draw dependent, really draw dependent, but also it lacks any counters. It's a huge problem in the current metagame when there's so much burst.
Yeah. If you get behind as a rogue, it feels like it's really hard to. Oh, you always just like stuck. Like I have to draw this 2-card combination to win.
And it's usually Blade Flurry and Oil or Deadly Poison. Without that, you can't win. You just can't win without Deadly Poison.
I think I have to like agree with Lothar here. Like the deck, it's inner state. Like if there are some players who really like to play Rogue, right? And for those players, Rogue is like holy grail of Hearthstone. They can beat like everything. And then you have like the players who are not really comfortable with it. And then usually if you're not that kind of player who always plays Rogue, I wouldn't choose Rogue to play in a tournament.
It's really hard. There's a lot of small nuances, especially if the Warlock or Joe pops out of the Pilot Shredder. You never know what happens. Heyo.
That can always backfire.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, he picks up
the Edwin Van Cleef is very interesting choice here.
This is a very aggressive play.
This is an aggressive play. Oh, he didn't.
Oh, I really thought he was playing Van Cleef.
Yeah, same. I mean, also like Van Cleef could be really good against this kind of warrior, right? Like usually this warrior doesn't play BGH. Sometimes they do, but it's not quite often. So just play around 1 execute, 2 executes.
Yeah.
To be honest, like I always dislike the Edwin Van Cleef on all-ins, but in this situation, when you play against a warrior, I think it's really needed at the state of the game. Like,
well, if he didn't kill off the Acolyte, it could have popped. It could have bumped into the Van Cleef and executed. So I think he was just trying to maximize his damage relative to what he had on board and pressure for the win.
Oh wow, that flash inner rage.
That inner rage was really nice too. Now that's a board clear on the other end.
And the problem with the Van Cleef right now is that the fact that there are no combo apart from the backstabs available for him. It says, well, he can. Well, actually, he can. Turn 7, he can play backstab, Pilot Shredder, and Edwin, but then there's still a 5-2 million on board.
Yeah, he needs something else with it.
Coin armor up. That's how desperate LetMeFarM wants to survive. Considering he understands that Rogue has a lot of burst.
Yeah, and there's Emperor already in hand, so the coin doesn't really matter because you will have 6 coins when you play the Emperor.
Yeah, I think this is the Edwin Van Cleef turn. You probably just go backstab, Deadly Poison, Edwin.
Probably.
And hope for Edwin to survive, which probably might. Like this Edwin needs to do a lot of work if Rogue wants to win this game.
Yeah, it has to be execute, but even if he has execute, he needs an activator, and the only activator is Warsong plus the Acolyte it paid,
which is not that bad.
Yeah.
It's not awful.
On the other hand, I think like here, LetMeFarM, it's a little bit risky because you're kind of low, but you see that Unid has only 1 card in his end. So you could just go for Emperor and wait it up. You can also go like for Deadly Poison, try to set up maybe some crazy turns next turn, but you don't really have Inner Rage, which you would probably need.
Yeah, I don't mind setting up Emperor Thorson. He has 1 card in hand, there's 9 damage on board, and you're at 16 health. So I don't think it's very hard for 2 cards to generate 7 damage.
Exactly.
I disagrees.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, like it's like Alesh said, this is also another opportunity where you can go for a pressure. You might even pick up a way to win. Like
well,
if he fills up the board and then you have like a Frothing Berserker you pick up, you might kill him.
Yep.
Well, in this situation, he'll just want to set up a double Battle Rage next turn with Acolyte of Pain. That will generate 5 cards, and within those 5 cards, you kind of want to find that one execute.
I'm actually curious as to why he attacked with Van Cleef before he sprinted. Is that because like I don't think it truly mattered unless it was another prep oil, but in any case. Is there a reason why you attack? I just want to know for sequencing purposes.
I don't think there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it shouldn't have been the other way
It was
around.
a very quirky thing. I was like,
I think it doesn't really matter. So Dreadcourser is big though here. It's 3 more damage. And probably Grim Patron here. He could go for Acolyte with Battle Rage. That's another option.
I think. Well,
but
I think the main plan was to play the Acolyte, but in this situation, he just wants to get another card with the Battle Rages. So he double Battle Rages this turn.
And he's gonna dig for Execute.
Yeah, dig for Execute or second Inner Rage, so he can kill off the Edwin with the Pirate, because then he will just use the Inner Rage on the Pirate. Edwin Van Cleef will be damaged. So we'll see. But if he plays Patron right now, then he's left without card draw, and this is something that I don't think he can do that actually.
Yeah, this is really tough, right? Because like now you have to decide what cards are you going to play around, right? You can play Grim Patron, which is more safe. You'll be able to probably kill Grim Patron if you need to. But then you don't play around like Play Flurry.
Oh man. Yeah, having to trade both into the Van Cleef is
I didn't like
really
that at
painful.
all. I think using both Battle Rages to draw 6 cards here, still have the probably still have the count up, because 6 cards from like a 14 cards deck, I think, and there are still 2 executes, are a huge chance to just draw that, and maybe finish the game next turn.
Yeah, this I think Rogue. I think that was like a play to survive because you're afraid of what can happen. Your opponent demonstrated he might have played Flurry off of Sprint, but is that a play to win? And I think I think that turn example is a really good example of that saying, because we say it a lot as casters, but it's sometimes hard to conceptualize. But if you just analyze it, like how do you climb back now? Because Rogue is still in a dominant position. He has an even stickier minion than Van Cleef.
Exactly. And the Battle Ragers have no value almost. Like now it's two mana for 1 card.
They kind of have value now if you can Taskmaster the Acolyte, but still, it's like you said, it could have been 3-4 cards type of thing. 6 cards even.
6 cards for 4 mana. I guess that's a good deal.
It's a pretty good deal.
It's pretty good.
You're almost at pre-nerf Gadget Stands level. But here's the thing about the Battle Rage too. It soaks up the remaining mana. So as much as you're drawing cards, if you die.
Yes, now you don't have the mana to actually use the Battle Rages. The turn before was the only turn when you can manage to play those.
Okay. Armorsmith is...
That's the end of the game, because you didn't draw the execute.
Rogue doesn't have the damage.
Yeah, Rogue doesn't have the damage just yet. I mean, the problem is that like the Rogue is gonna get health, so he's gonna be really out of range. Or he can also draw cards for little, maybe even.
I think he will just sprint for Eviscerate. He has 2 still in his hand, in his deck, right?
Oh, now I think you just load that Antique and you just like secure win.
That's actually a reasonable play too, because if you Loatheb an Antique heal bot, he can't actually play spells to punish you for a kill, because if you sprint and you don't end up doing anything, you're going to sap a minion, and then it's like, well, he still might kill you with frothing stuff.
Yeah, that's a good point.
He has 2 Whirlwinds in the hand, so like, if his opponent had a Frothing Berserker and Warsong #2, he could die, or he could draw into it with Acolyte.
Yeah, I think if you Antique Loatheb here, there's no way you can lose.
You need I don't think you need to trade into the Cool Taskmaster, so that way you get a better favorable position.
Yeah, I would just go face.
But I think you can just hit face.
I think, yeah, you don't hit. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, what do you do if you're LetMeFarM?
Nothing. That's a very sad
Can he do
situation.
anything?
Like, you can generate 2 armor, 4 armor this turn, and that's basically it.
Doomsayer. Doomsayer is something he can do.
Yeah, I think like this whole game goes back to that round 6, where he could play Emperor, and instead of that, he chose to play Deathblade.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, I think it was round 7, actually. I'm sorry.
Well, that was the setup to, in my opinion, that was the setup to play the Acolyte of Pain and double Battle Rage. With the Death Spike, right? And he didn't do that, like he changed his mind. And when he played the Death Spider instead of the Emperor, it actually didn't make any sense with the upcoming turns. Like the Emperor would have been much better.
Okay, so you can kill Shredder, get a Doomsayer.
Yeah, but I guess you want to go into the Acolyte first. You can reduce the most damage on board too. I mean, you know, Rogue still doesn't have the damage to kill.
Yeah, I mean, like, doesn't have damage to kill, but the sprint, I think both Eviscerates are still in the deck, I think.
Yeah, but you need sprint and then prep Eviscerate. You need sprint Eviscerate into prep Eviscerate, because he's going to be at too much health.
But both preps are still, I mean, like, it's unlikely, you know. Okay, we'll see.
Alright, well, there's a lot of ways for him to kill. And even if he doesn't kill, there's a lot of ways for him to put the pressure on. Although Warsong Commander is in the hand.
Yeah, I mean, Warsong Commander is in the hand, but again, like, you don't really have much to play with it. So you might, like, Loot Hoarder, try to dig something.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like,
he needs, like, the Frothing Berserkers along with that, too. And he also gave it one Whirlwind.
So Ani decides to go for this. Is prep
I think oil's enough, right?
Yeah, right?
Yep.
For sure. That's going to wrap it up. So looks like we have game number 1 in the books. Unity takes a very important win here, taking out the Patron Warrior, the Rogue.
Yeah, definitely, like, this matchup is really hard to win from both sides. Sometimes, like, as a warrior, you set up board with Graham Patrons, but he has Blade Flurry, and you don't have, like, extra damage to kill him. Then sometimes this Green Patron kills you with, like, Frothing Berserkers, and you just cannot do anything about it as a rogue player.
Okay. Well, from here we have LetMeFarM. He can choose to switch his deck if he so chooses to please. And he ends up queuing up Patron again? All right. Fair enough. Against Druid, it's pretty decent.
Yeah.
And if he queues up Hunter, I mean, Patron can deal with Hunter pretty well. Sometimes. I mean, I always feel like the matchup's very dynamic. It can either go really bad or really well, depends on how the draws go.
Yeah, it's all about those Fiery War Axes, about those Armor Smiths and that kind of stuff. If you get them, you usually win. If you don't, you just lose.
Clear enough, he's not keeping the Fiery War Axe in opening hand.
Yeah, I think I would like to see him keep it, because it's, like, so good against Shredders.
Yeah.
It's
still a good card. Like,
yeah.
What do you want to get else? Frothing Berserker is okay. It's not that bad against Druid, especially if you can, like, pump it to 6 attack to kill in one strike at the claw. But it's I don't know. I still would favor the weapon here.
Yeah, weapons against Druid, though, generally speaking, don't have much effect outside of Death Guard. It just feels like you have to trade 2 swings into it, and then Druid is such a high advantage in health.
But Druid only has 1 4-drop, which is Pelted Shredder, and this is the case here.
This was a really interesting play from the Warrior, right? Like, he just coins Loot Hoarder. I'm not really sure if I, like, agree with it, because, like,
he wants him to hero power really badly.
Yeah.
Instead of
but, like, I mean, if you're gonna have Wild Growth, you're gonna play Wild Growth anyway.
Right.
If you have hero power, like, if you don't have it, you're just like, you're gonna hero power, and you didn't gain anything from it.
Look at that, what he just did draw.
Fire War Axe. Oh no! Steam Wheel Sniper!
That card is fun. I love that card.
Imagine if it's like you get the Steam Wheel Sniper, and now you could give armor as the warrior player to a minion. Now that is insane.
That's insane.
I bet that will be a new card sometime in the future.
In my sights.
Yeah, so this is gonna be the bear form, definitely.
You guys are best friends?
Yeah, of course.
Oh.
Handshake included.
Oh,
Lothar.
I get it.
Oh, that's off.
Yeah, they don't see it now. Oh, damn. We just shake hands, Twitch.
It's based off what happened at Bucharest.
So, I mean, he has an execute for the Druid of the Claw right now. He could, like, set up board maybe with, like, Frothing, but I'm not really sure if he wanted to do that, because he kind of really want that card for lethal. He could also just set up Acolyte. It's kind of annoying for Druid.
Yeah.
He could go also.
So Whirlwind and Execute? That's what you should do here?
No. Oh.
Well,
it's so hard, everything. Like, there's not really nice play here, I think. Yeah, it's just that Execute.
I didn't like
that,
what's
unfortunate about this is that it's going to get silenced. That's going to cut a huge portion of the card draw out from Patron, which is very costly.
Oh, do you do now?
I think denying card draw is really powerful, considering that you even have a better Thorson when lore comes down, because when the lore comes down, then you draw 2 more cards. And the cards you reduce in your hand here as Thorson, are they even super impactful? I mean, playing Thorson on turn 6 is often great.
But like on the other hand, you just saw LetMeFarM playing his execute, right? And
yeah,
like,
that's true.
Everything like he played was kind of awkward from his position, so might as well just like go try for it. And the Fiery War Axe here again might be clutch.
It's gonna be drawing cards though, a lot of cards.
Yeah. Just Whirlwind, Fiery War Axe.
Do you need the Whirlwind right now? You have two Frothing Berserkers.
Yeah, true. With already Varson Commander.
Yeah, I guess you can just push into the Thorson with the Acolyte and then hit with the Fiery War Axe.
It's still a very difficult situation for the Warrior.
It is. You're taking a lot of damage. And, you know, I guess something we didn't discount, or something we didn't count, was the amount of health Warrior has. And there is a lot of damage that could be pushed out here.
That was also a slight misplay, because he did attack first with the weapon instead of the Acolyte of Pen. If he was playing...
we could have played Execute.
If he was planning on attacking anyway with the Acolyte of Pen, he should have done that first to get the draw first.
I think he knows. Because he could have played Execute, and then he could have killed off the
exactly.
Stormwheel Sniper.
Yeah, now he just dies to combo.
And now he's thinking, oh, now I can use Execute for 1 damage.
Right.
Wow, nice.
Actually, it's a legitimate concern now.
Yeah, because with Emperor, he just dies to combo.
Emperor reduces the combo from 9 to 7, and then that is 18 damage. Very risky. And it ends up being okay for now, but again, this is also a lethal. This is a lethal setup, because you have Druid the Claw now with Savage Roar.
Druid the Claw with Savage Roar, yeah.
So now we'll have to see a Frothing Berserker, Armor Smith. Nah, that doesn't do anything.
Well, you have to Whirlwind Execute, right? Yeah. So that's first thing. So I think you...
What about if you play Warson Commander, Armor Smith? Nah, still 1 mana short. I think the coin usage on turn 1
hurt him a lot.
Hurt him a lot.
Because what also you can do with the Loot Hoarder is play it on turn 2 and then bait the Druid to want a hero power as opposed to play a Shade of Naxxramas.
Well,
instead, you trade the coin for 2. You trade the coin for 2 damage, which was not really the case to push you over the edge in this matchup here.
Exactly. Okay, so he plays the Frothing Berserker.
Would just die to a single Wrath for 1 mana.
Yeah, Wrath, and then you can fill up the board here. Oh, yikes. That's really nice, because now Lotheb locks spells, and he can still Wrath and develop, and this is almost certainly lethal next turn, unless there's a huge play on the Warrior side.
With spells for 5 mana more. Might be tough.
Yeah, I think this is the game. There's nothing much.
I don't like to fire shots at the players, but I really think LetMeFarM isn't playing at the top of his skill when playing Patron. That's a very small misplays that are leading to huge outcomes for him. I mean, negative outcomes for him.
No, it happens. I mean, at this stage, this is like this is the point where you win, or you just fall outside. Like, this is probably where the losing hurts the most. I mean, it does suck to go 0-2 in a tournament, because you're like, well, I'm out early. But when you invest this much time, you're 5-1, and it's like you're at the finish line, but you fall short. That's excruciating.
That's just rough. That's exactly just like what happened to Osaka and Kaldi right now.
Yeah.
Like, both went 5-0.
Both great players.
And then just falls just short.
Really sucks.
Yeah.
Feels bad, man. Feels bad.
I hate to say this, but I always said in my cast that I was like, Osaka is a player known for falling 1 round short in everything, in qualifiers. It's true. If you ever look at every qualifier Osaka's played in, he always loses 1 round before going through, and it feels like that's the case here too. But in the meantime, LetMeFarM is in the same spot. The Druid's gotten a 2-0 lead here.
And now you have Smork to win 1 of the 3 games. I mean, we all know Smorks. Like, it's gonna happen once or twice. Like.
And LetMeFarM picked Warlock now, so he sticked to Patron for 2 games.
And then ditches it.
And ditches it for probably the best matchup, right?
Hunter.
I mean,
mid-range Hunter is good against. It's like he wants to play against.
It's mid-range. Okay, I thought it's like the name of the deck kind of threw me out here.
Oh, what was it called?
Smork.
Smork.
Oh, yeah, nice. Memes.
Memes.
Well, he starts off. I saw a weapon. I didn't see anything else though. Okay, he got web spinner. I was like, well, he starts off a little awkward.
Yeah. Anid's hand was pretty good. No wait, LetMeFarM is Warlock. His hand is really good. He can take this.
Is it?
For a handlock, I like this hand because like you're gonna do nothing here. Turn 2, he goes for aggressive play, which I'm not sure if I really like. We talked a lot with this with Life Coach about this, and I think we both said like we don't like to go for this play against Hunter, just like silence your Asian Watcher. You always like you're never gonna play Mountain Giants from that point on if you're in this matchup, which I don't like. I like to play like Giant like turn 5 if you can. Like turn 4 is great. Like if you can play turn 4, you just win the game usually against a mid-range Hunter.
And well, Life Coach plays almost always one owl. So the owl is very valuable. So using it on your own Ancient Watcher just like an innervate Yeti is not worth enough. But here, I think it's even worth less in this situation because there's a freezing trap. So if you bounce back your Ancient Watcher, it's basically worthless.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not to mention you give an additional charge to the bow.
Yep.
So that's some more damage back.
That's reset.
Oh wait,
whoa.
I guess it's not freezing trap.
You think so? Well, yeah, exactly. Why would he do that? No idea though.
It's probably just not freezing trap.
Maybe he's bluffing.
Snake trap. Maybe it's explosive, and he just mess. I mean, we have seen some mid-range hunters run explosive trap.
Yeah, like it sometimes happens when they're just like around 1 explosive, 2 freezings.
Right.
Just have some variability against aggros.
Tap bomb.
Yeah.
Play.
Yeah. Play as safe as you can with health. This is something that a lot of new handlock players struggle with, which is, oh, I have Molten Giant. Maybe I should take damage. But in this matchup specifically, even if you have Molten Giant, hunters can push past it and kill you, especially with the kill command in hand already.
Turn 6, Savernheim. Well, this is something no one wants to see on the other side of the table.
No, I mean, there's really no scenario where you generally want to see a high main on curve.
Second high main.
Wow.
Well, this turns out to be ugly, really ugly.
Yeah, he also uses owls, and also that trap. We still don't know what the trap is, and if it is freezing, then I mean it's definitely con up to haunt him.
So Twilight Drake, that was a really good pickup. Now you can taunt it up with Defend of Argus, but still not great because that high main is going to be annoying, and you have no AoE in your hand.
So he didn't opt to attack. Handmaster is great on the Savannah just to kill off the Twilight Drake in one swift strike. Then you play Kill Command and kill the second giant. I mean the second giant, the first giant with your weapon actually. Yeah, that's the best option here. Thinking about using the Misha.
No, it hits like handlock in every right spot here because he didn't put him low enough for Molten Giant range.
Do we see Shadow Flame? Top deck Shadow Flame, it would be huge. That's not too bad either. You still can go like BGH, Hellfire, right? Yeah.
Well, it's reasonable, but then still 2 Spectral Spiders will be left on board.
I don't think it's better play though.
The devastating part is that he high mains after again.
Yeah.
Like that's like the dagger in the groin.
You know, what LetMeFarM needs next turn is a Siphon Soul, so to pair it up with the Owl, but I'm not sure if he even plays it. Not many players are playing Siphon Soul.
Yeah, really difficult.
Yeah, and also we see that he plays double Owl, so then playing Siphon Soul is even harder because like what do you cut for second Owl?
I know this is really funny because Siphon Soul was a staple card in Handlock for like a year.
Right. No, of course, it's great removal and it plays directly into their playstyle.
Yep.
So he goes out of 13, and high main number 2 will come down. And hopefully that Sludge Belcher can buy him some time. Ooh, oh man. I don't mind keeping Web Spinner here in case you pick up another kill command. So I think you don't want to necessarily do that. And fitting in another hero power is really big.
Yeah, that's the most important case. Right? Yeah. 2 damage might be so important at the moment.
Shadow Flame. Well, that's an answer to the board because you silence the Savannah, play the Molten Giant, and Shadow Flame, right?
But now the board has evolved, or the game has evolved to a problem beyond just the board. You're at 9 HP, and you
have nothing.
You might just die to direct damage like Quick Shot, you know, Silence, an Iron Beak Owl, just like...
Iron Beak Owl just dead.
Any point of damage is really threatening because you don't have Heal Bot.
Yep. And your only defensive card is Sludge Belcher, which you can play on turn 9, but then you...
I think you play Owl as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. You just play the Owl.
Plus, he has a trap, right? So it's freezing trap. He's indicated it's freezing trap.
Yeah.
So you got to put your faith in the Sludge, and hopefully this can work out. But a single Iron Beak Owl.
Oh, look at that!
Wow.
End the game, and you need, just like that, is through to the round of 8. Very unceremonious for LetMeFarM. That was super quick.
That was a really fast series.
It was like 20 minutes.